What's going on, everyone? It is Justin with Guaranteed Country. Had a great morel hunting day yesterday. Did really well, found a couple skillets full, so that's in the previous video. Got them all cooked up, they were delicious. So since we know the picking's ripe, we're back out and gonna see what we can find. I always feel like one of those hard parts is to force yourself to look in new areas, so when you always know, or where you think you know where the mushrooms are, you got to get out, check new spots, and you never know when you're going to find that next mother lode. Stumbled across two nice gray mushrooms. Let's pick both of those guys, and we're going to give a look around and see if we can find any more, but both really nice. As you can see, you really have to look close. This one was doing its best to try not to get found, but unfortunately for him, he's now going to go in our pot, so that's a nice one. Today's theme has been finding a whole bunch of single mushrooms. So as you can see, you got to look super close. Here's a fresh one that popped and grew sideways. So we pull it out and got ourselves a nice gray mushroom. Very respectable haul today. Pheasant backs, some of them that we found in the very first mushroom video of this year, have now gotten bigger. And perfect eating size, nice and tender, lots of moisture. We did find a small group of mushrooms. Was hoping to find more, but still not a bad day. Gonna hopefully try something new on the morels, and gonna give a pheasant backs to a coworker. It is the next day after we found the morel mushrooms, and we are going to try a new recipe. I've went ahead and set out all of the ingredients. Of course, our main ingredient are the morel mushrooms, primarily grays. And today we're going to be making some ribeyes up with a morel cream sauce on top. We're going to start off with some butter and saute the mushrooms and red onion. We're then going to add some brandy, and then after that we're going to add some cheese, some whipping cream, basil, pepper, and beef stock. Let all of that cook down, and we should be left with a delicious sauce to put on top of the steak. Alright, so I got my son Trapper. He's, say hi. Hi. And he's going to help cook the mushrooms. So we're going to start by turning on the stove and just melt some butter, and we'll stick the mushrooms in and get started. We're going to go ahead and start putting the mushrooms in.
Hey, what are you?
Hey, go ahead and keep putting them in, bud. Let's start cooking them up.
Wow, that one's hurt.
Meanwhile, in skillet number 2, we're going to take our ribeyes and put them in. Normally we would be grilling these, but we have had over 5 inches of rain in the last 2 days, with more rain on the way. So we'll just fry them up in the skillet beside our mushrooms. They are looking and smelling really good. Cooking well in the butter. Let's go ahead and stick our onions in there. Go ahead, bud. There we go. And we're going to let that saute for a couple of minutes with the mushrooms. Right. In order to keep from anything from burning, we will keep stirring it all. We're about at a point we're going to take it off the heat. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of brandy. Put it back on, just cook it for a minute, and then we'll proceed with adding in the cream and the stock. We now have the brandy in, 2 tablespoons. We're going to let that cook just here for 1 minute. And then it's time for cream and the beef stock. Okay, now we're going to put in a cup of heavy cream. Go ahead and start putting that in, bud. And a 1/4 cup of stock. We're going to turn the heat down and let it start cooking. As this cooks, we're going to go ahead and put some basil in, add to the flavor, and it will continue to thicken up, and once it's at the desired thickness, it is done and ready to plate up. It continues to thicken up pretty nice here in about, so I've been going for probably about 5 minutes. Here in a couple, we're going to add some mozzarella cheese just as a binder, give it some additional flavor, and we will be ready to start eating. Now we're going to put some mozzarella cheese in, not a ton. We don't want to overpower the flavor, just enough to bring it all together. Our morel cream mixture is pretty well done. We are going to spoon that right on top of the ribeye that we have prepared. Do a little bit more, and then we're going to try it and see how it tastes. Let's see how the Morel gravy and the ribeye taste. That was really easy to make. It was delicious to eat. So tune in next time when we have our next adventure. See you later.
See you later.